stop scrolling. If you watch one thing from this video, make it spoiler 1. Charity's storyline this week isn't just a little twist. It's a proper bombshell that could change dozens of other plots. Sarah thinks her nan is carrying her and Jacob's baby, but Charity is sitting on it that could shatter that family if it ever comes out. This isn't gossip. It's a decision with real consequences, and it could lead to proper heartbreak and fallout across the Dingle clan. Viewers will definitely have something to say about this one. Before we dive into the other 5 spoilers, do me a favor and subscribe to Episode Whisper. If you love getting the biggest, most spoilery moments early, and hearing a straight up take from someone who watches every week. That's what this channel's all about. Hit subscribe and the bell so you don't miss the follow-ups when everything starts to explode. I'll run through 6 big story points shortly, but here's what really matters. Spoiler 1 is the hinge. Let me explain. If Charity keeps this secret or makes the choice she's hinted or won't just break hearts, it'll redraw loyalties, ruin trust, and push other characters into choices we didn't expect. Stick around. Each of the other 5 scenes links back to this in one way or another, and by the end, you'll see why this whole week feels like it's teetering on the edge. I want Charity's devastating choice. Chas Dingle has always been one of those characters who mixes fire with fragility. Fans know she hides behind humor and bravado, but deep down, guilt eats away at her. This week, we see just how much she's struggling after confirming that the baby she's carrying isn't linked to Sarah and Jacob's embryo. Everyone believes it's actually Lewis Barton's child. Think about that for a second. Sarah is over the moon, convinced her nan is carrying her future baby with Jacob. Mackenzie is planning romantic gestures, trying to hold on to their marriage. And in the middle of it all, Charity knows the truth would tear everything apart. Instead of facing it, she secretly books a termination. The scenes are raw. Chas notices something's off and presses her, only for Charity to finally blurt out that the baby belongs to Ross. Chas, stunned, tells her that honesty is the only way forward. But Charity just can't. She hides behind the plan to quietly end the pregnancy, sparing Sarah and Mac the pain. Then comes the gut punch. Sarah brings her a memory box she's already started for the unborn child. She even suggests Charity write a welcome letter. Imagine the weight of that moment, knowing what Charity has planned. You can almost see her car breaking down in tears later, the pressure too much to carry. Will she really go through with it? Or will guilt and love for her granddaughter stop her at the last minute? This could completely redefine her relationship with Sarah, with Mac, and with Ross if the truth gets out. SPOR 2 April walks away. Next up, April Windsor. This poor girl has been through so much for someone so young. Only recently, she was tangled up in something that nearly cost Leo his life after leaving those pills at home. Ronna's anger is still burning, and April feels like she can't breathe in that house anymore. So, she decides to move out. Marlon is heartbroken. He knows his daughter is vulnerable, and the last thing she needs is distance from her family. But April is stubborn and insists she'll stay with friends. We know, of course, that this isn't really about friends. It's about the dangerous pull of Ray Walters, who's been whispering in her ear. For a moment, it looks like she might actually take Ray's offer of a room, which is terrifying given his history of manipulation. Luckily, Bob spots her with her bags and steps in, insisting she stay at the B&B. Relief for us as viewers, but frustration for Ray, who hates losing control. Meanwhile, Celia Daniels is hovering again, feeding Rona's doubts and quietly reinforcing that keeping April at a distance is the right thing. On the surface, she's supportive, but fans will notice that Celia's interference keeps April drifting further from her family. Bob even softens towards Celia when she offers him a coffee, completely unaware of her hand in the mess. Bottom line, April may have avoided Ray's roof for now, but the cracks in her ties are only getting wider. 3 Gabby's uneasy discovery. Moving on to Gabby Thomas. She's trying to patch things up with Vinny after everything he's faced recently. Viewers will remember how lost Vinny looked during the court ordeal, and Gabby thought counseling might help. She even brings Charles Anderson home to give them both a bit of guidance. At first, it feels hopeful. Vinny opens up, Charles reminds them of their love, and Gabby looks like she might finally be able to breathe. But then comes the twist. Vinny later has a deep heart-to-heart with Lewis Barton, and Gabby happens to walk in right at the wrong time, catching the two of them hugging. Now, to an outsider, maybe it's just comfort between mates. But to Gabby, who already doubts whether Vinny's being completely honest with her, it looks like intimacy. Her face says it all. There's too much doubt in the marriage, too many shadows creeping in. And let's not forget, Gabby has her own secret hanging over her. If Vinny's truth starts spilling out, will hers follow too? Fans are left asking whether these two have the strength to weather the storm, or if the damage is already done. Before police called as Tates and King clash, you can always count on the Kings and the Tates to stir up trouble. This week, things get messy when Jimmy King floods his own house and ends up carting Nicola and the kids over to Laurel's. Chaos follows, as you'd expect. But the real explosion comes through the kids. Carl King Jr. and Clemmy Reed's bond sparks tension, and before long Carl and Lucas Taylor end up scrapping at school. Typical village, isn't it? Small sparks turning into full-blown wars. Nicola, being Nicola, isn't having any nonsense from the Tates. Words fly, tempers fly, and soon enough, the police are involved. Officers show up at home farm, and later they're speaking with Nicola directly. The question is, has this school fight triggered something much bigger between the families? It feels like the start of another King-Tate feud, and if history tells us anything, those never end quietly. Espuela fight Chas and Liam's fragile moment. Chas Dingle has found herself caught out again, hasn't she? She's been pouring all her energy into Charity's latest crisis, and in doing so she's barely noticed what's going on right under her nose with Liam. This week, it finally hits her just how badly she's let him down. For once, Liam isn't the calm, steady doctor we usually see in the village. He's a worried man waiting for PSA results, fearing the worst, and Chas is only just clocking how much he needs her. What makes this sting even more is that Liam isn't just any patient. He's a GP man who's spent years guiding others through the same tests he's now facing. He knows the statistics, the treatments, the risks. That knowledge doesn't make things easier. If anything, it makes them harder. The idea of sitting in the waiting room as a patient instead of holding the notes as a doctor is unsettling him more than he can admit. Viewers will probably feel that extra weight, knowing he's usually the one keeping everyone else strong. For Chas, this is another reminder of her pattern. Fans might remember plenty of times she's been distracted, wrapped up in her own dramas while her partner's left to muddle through alone. She's determined to put things right this time. But will Liam let her in, or has she already left it too late? That's the question hanging over them, and it could easily stir up old wounds for both. Belle takes a leap with Kammy finally, some lighter moments. Or at least they start that way. Belle Dingle and Kammy Hadid take a big step forward in their relationship. After weeks of dating, they decide to move things up a notch. Belle deserves happiness after the pain of her toxic marriage last year. Fans have been rooting for her to find someone decent, someone who sees her for who she is. Kammy seems to offer that. Their scenes this week show affection, hope, and maybe even a little bit of excitement about the future. But, as always in Emmerdale, nothing is ever that simple. There's already a hint that they might have rushed it. Could this romance be moving too fast? Will Belle look back and regret, or will this finally be her chance to build something stable? For now, though, it's nice to see her smiling again, and viewers will be holding on to that hope for her. So, there you have it. 6 huge storylines playing out across Emmerdale this week. Charity is torn apart by secrets and guilt. April is edging dangerously away from her family. Gabby is questioning her marriage. The Kings and Tates are dragging the police into their never-ending battles. Chas is scrambling to support Liam through a scary health scare. And Belle's dared to take another chance on love. It's one of those weeks where every household in the village feels like it's balancing on a knife edge. I'd love to know what you think. Should Charity tell Sarah the truth before it's too late? Is April strong enough to resist Ray, or is she already too far gone? And do you think Belle and Kammy can actually make it last? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed the spoilers. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a moment on the Dales. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.